Top 5 horror directors coming up, baby. Ooh, yeah.
I don't think you're ready.
Let's start. I think we each have an honorable mention. So let's kind of just do that. You go first and tell me your honorable mention, bro.
Bro, my honorable mention is George A. Romero. Because
love that guy.
George A. Romero honestly sparked, what is my favorite. It's not even like my favorite horror, but it's like what I just find fascinating. People hate him, but I love zombies. I freaking love zombies. Zombies is my thing, dude. I love The Walking Dead. I played Call of Duty Zombies where George A. Romero was in the game, the map called it Dead. Bro, he just, he's the godfather of the living dead. And I think it's just, he needs to be recognized because he did set a mark for a lot of generations to come. So he definitely needs to be recognized. I haven't watched a lot of his films, so I can't put him in my top 5, but he definitely, made a mark on the generation, on my generation of the stuff I love. So.
Yeah. He's actually on my list, so we'll get to him in a little bit. I don't want to expand too much on it. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think he's incredible. My honorable mention is Mike Flanagan. I think Mike Flanagan is incredible. I really, really like this guy. He's not very well known. He's still very new. It's going to take him a few years to kind of really, and then get on a bigger scale, but he's done so much, man. I mean, Dr. Sleep, I think, is a very, very underrated horror movie shot in Covington, Georgia. What's up, baby? I think one of my favorite. I think one of the best written and best directed shows I've ever seen in my life, which is The Haunting of Hill House. Unreal. You haven't seen it?
No,
Brayden, dude. If you want to see good filmmaking, seriously, bro, you need to go watch that show. It is on. I'm not trying to get your expectations too high.
Is it more than one season?
Nope, it's only like 6-7 episodes. It's a limited series.
It's a series,
dude. It's so good. You really need to watch it. It's. Like I said, I'm not trying to. Really I don't want to set your expectations too high, bro. But like from an actor's perspective and someone that's in the industry, you're gonna be like, wow, this is unreal. And I know people that worked on the set, and it's crazy. Mike Flanagan, what I love about him is he loves to do long takes. He does these like 10-minute scenes, and just goes crazy with them. And they're all one shot.
Wow.
It's unreal. I love that from him, dude. He brought out a lot of good stuff, though. I mean, like I said, Dr. Sleep, Haunting of Hill House. Before I Wake is another really, really underrated one that a lot of people kind of hate on or kind of throw it off to the side. Really like the directing in that. Really like the visuals. Really like the direction they went with the film. And the acting's in it is pretty solid. I really like that film. Hush, I think, is a very underrated movie. The way that they incorporate. It's so good. And that's Mike Flanagan. He's incredible, dude. This guy knows how to make a project, bro. He's incredible. And people don't know his name. Crazy to me. Are you frozen right now? But it's crazy though when you bring up his name. People don't know who he is because I think he's incredible, and he, like I said, he's still kind of on the rise. And I think the more that he releases, I think the more people are going to enjoy him. He also did The Haunting of Bile Manor or whatever. Haven't really seen that one. That's another show he did for Netflix. So really excited to see his stuff. He's just someone that I had to throw on here because he's just someone I need to bring up and let people know to go watch his stuff and support him because he's a very good horror director and understands horror. So Mike Flanagan's my honorable mention. Yep.
That's pretty sick, man.
Love that, man, Mike.
All right.
Alrighty. Let's go to our top 5. Yes, sir.
All right, man. This one's going to be... You're probably going to be like, Brad, what the fuck, man? My number 5 is the one... I can't say the one, the only. He's not like that. He's out there, but it's Wes Craven. I put him at my number 5 because I'm giving him the respect for all the amazing series he's made. You know what I mean? Obviously, Nightmare on Elm Street, one of the best of all time. Dude, I actually really like Freddy Krueger was always like kind of my favorite, as everyone kind of like Jason and like Mike Myers and stuff. Like I always really liked Freddy as like an actual character, just because I thought he was so funny and so creative. And then you get to Scream, and I think Scream is so cool because it was the first series that was just really made everything meta. You know what I mean? And really, really saved horror. You know what I mean? So, bro gets a top 5 in my spot because he is. There's no undoubtedly he's not a top 5. Most people will probably put him higher, but just for me personally, he's not.
Wes Craven single-handedly saved horror in the 90s. This dude saved horror. So Scream, yes, was the first big meta thing, but he actually made a project that was kind of like that. It
Yeah, you
was
told I still
New
have to see
Nightmare.
this.
You need to watch it. It's the Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It is New Nightmare. That is probably even more meta than Scream in a lot of different senses. And it's I talked about it before, and I told Brayden, but I'm gonna tell everybody listening now if you guys haven't seen me talk about it, if you haven't seen it. Basically, it takes the characters from the original Nightmare on Elm Street, like first two movies or first movie, brings them back, but now they're playing themselves in the world that Freddy Krueger exists. The Nightmare on Elm Street movies exist. So the characters are playing themselves, which I couldn't imagine doing that. Imagine
That'd
playing
be such like a
yourself in a
mind fuck.
movie. Oh, dude, I don't know what I would like. Because then you can't necessarily act how you would act. You still got to stick to the script. Very weird. Very weird. I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, he single-handedly brought that meta-ness to the world with that script. It's a very underrated movie. New Nightmare. Go check it out. Only bad thing is the lack of kills in the movie, but everything else is super meta and very unique. And Wes Craven's mind, the way it works, is incredible. He's on my list as well. I'm gonna dive into what projects I like about him later on. But yes, Nightmare on Elm Street. I've been wanting to watch it again recently. Watch the franchise, dude, because we can rank them. We can rank the movies actually in October, when we do horror month. So I love the franchise, bro. So you can watch the movie, and it'll be good, pretty cool. But yeah, I'm with you, dude. Wes Craven single-handedly brought horror back after that really bad drought in the early '90s.
I was gonna say that's like, that was my big thing on having him on the top 5, sure. Like, of course, obviously for Nightmare, obviously for fucking Scream. But yeah, dude, that was a really important part of horror, and
As we were saying,
movies wouldn't be the same without him.
Right, there's not many other projects that kind of jump out at you, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well. Okay, I feel you.
But yeah, Wes Craven, my number 5.
It's a really good pick. It's a good pick. My number 5 is George A. Romero. I was thinking about talking about him when we did your honorable mention, but I was like, no. I'm actually not a big fan of the zombie genre. I think
what
I actually that's the thing. You love zombie movies. I know that, the crazies, all that crazy stuff. But when it comes to George A. Romero, I think it's more of just a respect thing. I think one of the very few zombie movies I actually really, really enjoy is Night of the Living Dead from like 68 or something, 64. Uh-huh. I love the original Night of the Living Dead. Have not seen the remake. Oh, something's in my eye. That's
it's
terrible.
So funny because like movies back then were just like, you could tell, not even that they were fake, but you can tell it's almost like a movie where some scenes in real, like you're watching, it's like, wow, that's like so real.
Yeah.
But you could tell that movie was a movie, but it was so good. You know incredible. What I mean? It's so good.
Yeah, and it's like the big decision. You know what I mean? People, it's what I like about it is it captures human conflict so well. You know what I mean? And hey, do you lock yourself in here? Do you try to go out? I personally I don't know. It just kind of, I was sitting there trying to act like if I was in the situation, what would I do? And that's when you know that the movie succeeded at what it was trying to go for. I've not seen the remake. I don't know what they kind of did with that, what direction they went with it. If it was
the remake's all
good,
right.
It's not as good. Yeah.
It's just not the classic.
Right. It's not the classic. There's something original about it that I love. I love the classic Night of the Living Dead. And of course, Creepshow. I was in the show, so I went back and watched the first 2 movies. I love the Creepshow movies. I think they're really cool. I think it's fun. I think it's creative. It's something new. Once again, kind of brought some life into 80s horror when it was going through the craziness it went through. That big revive in the 80s, and Creepshow was part of that and brought a lot of fun things and a bunch of kind of an anthology feel to horror, which was pretty fun. Something that the Halloween franchise maybe should have done, but we got the Creepshow instead, so that was pretty cool. And all the zombie films, I've seen a couple of others of his, and I really enjoy him. I think he's done a pretty good job, kind of submitting that genre as his. You think of zombies, you think of George A. Romero. So really good stuff. Would have liked to see him do more other projects. He has a lot of zombie stuff. I would have liked to maybe see more do thriller, maybe some slasher stuff, which I'm sure he's done. I just haven't seen any. But George A. Romero definitely goes to 5 for me, just because of how he just once again saved horror, brought horror to the forefront really, and paved the way for scary movies.
Yeah, he really did. That's why I included him in the honorable, bro. He's like, dude, a must. Yeah. Changed history.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I just was laughing when you were talking because I was like, dude, I'm gonna make this guy so mad. At number four, I put the one, the only John Carpenter.
I get it.
Dude, I held him a little bit higher than Wes Craven for the simple fact, like Halloween led horror for a long time. Like when you think of that foundation that Wes Craven built, John Carpenter took like such advantage, not advantage of him, but took advantage of that stepping stool and really produced what is probably arguably the best horror franchise of all time. Regardless of how good the movies are, it's just the most iconic, at least. You know what I mean? That's probably a better word for it. And every time like you hear the da na na da na na da na da na, everybody knows Michael Myers. We
Which
all
John
think of
Carpenter
like,
made, by the way.
yep. And then yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. He's always just sat a little bit higher than Wes Craven for me. So that's exactly why I fell at my number four. But yeah, I'm trying to think about more to say about the guy. I don't know because
As
like the
long as
other,
he's top five, that I'm happy.
it's almost more of like it's like Wes Craven where it's like, duh, like not to be that guy, but like you know what I mean, like John Carpenter, bro. He, like I said, he made probably the most iconic, most successful franchise of all time. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
you can't argue the stats.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Pull
sports
up the
player.
stats, baby.
You can't
Pull up
argue the
the
stats, baby.
statistics.
And because James Hugh Courtney is one of my favorite guests ever.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, James? He's not
Hey,
watching.
James. Hey, no.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah. Really good pick. I like that. Love me some John Carpenter. Yeah. Iconic. Just I'll talk. You already know where he is.
Yep.
Now my number 4 is James Wan. It's so funny. I love James Wan. I think he's incredible.
That is really funny.
Yeah, he's definitely. I don't want to say he's on the rise. He's still very, very young. He's in his, I think, 40s. He's been around for a while. But he almost feels like he's still on the rise. I feel like there's a lot there for him that he hasn't really explored yet, and he hasn't done as much as you would think. It's really weird. Like I feel like he something's kind of holding him back. I don't know what it is, but maybe he's wanting to do more Aquaman type stuff, or I think didn't he do the new? Is he set for an Avatar movie or something?
Really?
No,
I don't know.
maybe I don't know. But anyway, he's set for some projects coming up, but they're just not. He did he did like another superhero movie or another big like blockbuster movie. But anyway, I love his stuff. I mean, just the stuff are written down, the classics. I mean, I think the Saw franchise once again paved the way for one of the most iconic franchises of all time. He really paved the way in the 2000s when horror was really struggling. He found a way. Saw, Dead Silence was a big one. And of course delivered two of the most iconic franchises once again of all time in The Conjuring and Insidious. This guy came in when horror was really struggling and paved the way to bring it back to the forefront. And I think that's just, you have to really acknowledge that. And I feel like people maybe don't put him as high mainly because he's not an older director. He's not a horror movie director back in the 80s or 90s. You know what I mean? He's a newer guy, so they might fault him for that and say that he hasn't made as much of an impact, but he has, in the sense of really carrying horror on his back in the early 2010s and the 2000s when it was just doing remakes. So he was delivering us new fun content on a really consistent basis. And just once again, three of the most iconic franchises of all time started with James Wan, which is crazy to think about. So he really kind of led the way for horror for a long time, and just the way he creates these films, writes them, directs them, the visuals as well, just beautiful stuff by him, and knows how to make good scores as well, but also bring a lot of life to these movies that would not have that life in him, I don't think, if he was involved.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna reiterate everything you said later on. So I'm gonna hold off, but I totally agree. He's awesome. He's slapped down. Totally slapped down.
Yes, sir.
So my number 3 is a little interesting. You're gonna look at me like, Brad, are you fucking kidding me, bro? It's Ari Aster. Dude, I put Ari Aster at number 3. Shocker choice. Ooh. Right? Dude, big dude. Listen to me right now. New to the game. 2 films in.
Yeah.
But dude, Hereditary is one of my favorite movies of all time. And
3 films.
Oh, three films. Three films.
Midsommar, and then yeah.
Yes, I totally forgot. Um, and I haven't seen Midsommar yet. I've only heard like kind of the same reviews. Very much like I think I would like it based on how I reacted towards Hereditary. You know what I mean? And I think you were the one who telling me that you thought it was a really interesting concept and stuff. Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, I know that's a hot choice. I know he's newer director to the scene, but I think we need more. For me, I like those movies. You know what I mean? For me, I think we need more. It's almost abstract in a way. You know what I mean? It's like abstract horror is like the best way I could say it. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
It is like abstract horror.
I'm your cheerleader over here, bro. Keep going.
Thank you. Yeah. Where everyone, yeah, whatever. I think he's gonna have a good, successful career. Just give it more time. You know what I mean? Give it more time.
Yeah. So since he's not on my list, I can talk about him a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's yeah. I think that's a good choice. I think a lot of people do really like his stuff. I'm on the side of like of the group of people that can't relate with those movies. If you can relate to that weirdness and out there, you would agree. He's top 3. He's just somebody for me personally that, like I said, I can't understand his stuff on a deeper level. I feel like it's just weird to be weird. And I'm not a fan of Hereditary, which is crazy because I'm a big horror guy, and people always ask me, "Yo, have you seen Hereditary? Have you seen it?" I'm like, "Yeah, once." Don't want to really watch it again. I do need to I need to watch it again, give it another chance. But like, I think Ari Aster is one of those people that has very good visuals, beautiful visuals. His DP he brings along is incredible. His editing, incredible. Sound, incredible. His directing style and how he directs the actors, incredible. Great concepts, they're very weird movies. Very weird movies. You have to sit down and you have to throw out the story a little bit and just look at how incredible he is as a director. You know what I mean? His directing style, like I said, is beautiful. It's gorgeous. But like just some of his story, I personally, in my opinion, cannot connect with. And I like the way some of his movies go. But the third act, the second act, when things start to build up a little bit, that's when he loses me. I haven't seen Beau is Afraid. I've seen Hereditary and Midsommar, and I was with those movies for a little bit, and then they kind of lost me. So, I hope he makes a bounce back after Beau is Afraid. Obviously, that didn't really do too well. It's kind of a failure. I think it will. I think they're going to, A24 is going to keep throwing stuff at him. I think once if he has another big bust or a couple more busts, then they'll give up on him. But A24 is in with them. And I think he's already even signed on to another project he's doing. So he can just keep, kind of like Beau is Afraid, where he made one of his old projects into a feature length. He can keep doing that if he wants to, you know what I mean? And kind of go for that. So, great. I think that's a good choice. I think a lot of people are going to agree with you. Like I said, just personally, I can't really get with his movies. And I think he is good in the industry, though, in the sense of someone that takes risks and does something different. And I do appreciate him for that. I love it.
As weird as it's going to sound, it's like a trip, man. Like, you really like what you see in the movies, like it fucking hits you like it's like paint on your face, and you're just like, you take it in, you have to go back and rewatch it a second time, because you don't even really understand it the first time. Like, as much as that is a little annoying, like, I find it so intriguing, and it really sits there. It's kind of what you said earlier. Like, it has me thinking, whether it's a good or bad reason. At least with Hereditary, I had good thoughts. You know what I mean? A lot of the time I was thinking, like, I was like, wow, like, what does this mean? Like, why wasn't this answered? Like, where does this lead to? So, definitely an out there choice, hot choice. But, I think some people can relate with it.
Yeah. No, a lot of people are really going to like that
guy. You know me.
Yeah, of course. No, a lot of people are going to jump on that for sure. I feel that. My number 3 is going to be Toby Hooper. Toby Hooper did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Poltergeist, Life Force. Wow. I think Toby Hooper's mind is very, very interesting. So this is a guy who actually likes to lean a bit more toward comedy and that kind of feel for movies. But he made Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was supposed to be a comedy. He wanted it to be funny. And it came off. That's why the second movie is so comedic and so weird. Because the first one was supposed to be a comedy movie, but it came off as just this eerie, weird, creepy, just unsettling movie that you only want to see a couple times because it's just so hard to watch. Very, very interesting story about him. And that's why Poltergeist is kind of fun. That's why Life Force has that vibe. You know what I mean? Of not like as full on just horror, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing about Toby Hooper. But the reason I put him at 3 for me is, like I said, I love what Poltergeist and Texas Chainsaw did for the horror industry or the horror world back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw led way to Halloween, which then led way to horror in general. And I gotta really look at that and really appreciate that. Texas Chainsaw, one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm actually a bigger fan of the remake than the original, but you can't compare those two movies. They're very, very different, and what he went for there was beautiful. And I do like the franchise. I've seen I've seen 5 movies out of the Texas Chainsaw franchise.
I've seen like 3,
I like
think.
them. Yeah, they're really solid. I enjoy the franchise for what it is for sure. And the Poltergeist, that's another big one, dude. Brought children and kids into horror. You know what I mean? Made the parents that weren't letting them watch, Halloween or letting them watch Friday or Nightmare or Creep Show. They were like, hey, you can watch Poltergeist. And there you go. They went and watched Poltergeist and got them into horror and really helped out the genre with the younger the younger generation, the younger kids. So what Toby Hooper did for horror is incredible, and I had to put him at 3 because I just his just influence is unreal.
No, that's baller. That's a baller choice right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great choice. At my number 2, he's very popular. Jordan Peele. It's Jordan freaking Peele, baby.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I was not expecting that. Surprised me. Okay.
Yeah, man. As I said before, I'm a very big modern guy. Like I appreciate the classics, and that's why Wes Craven and John Carpenter land on my list. Like they have to be appreciated. Even the mention of George Romero, like I understand that. But what I'm a different type. You know what I mean? I really like the type of movies that Jordan Peele creates. It's actually really funny. I need to give Nope another chance. Nope was probably my least favorite movie that he's made so far. And a lot of people love that. Like, I'll be straight up with you. I fell asleep in the last 30 minutes. So I don't even really, dude, I fell asleep when the alien was coming down and I woke up and people were dead and the movie was over. And I was like, what happened? So I need to go back. Very important part of the film. It's not even that I was confused. I was just kind of like, I don't know. I was taken out a little bit.
Very slow-paced movie. So I don't have Jordan Peele in my top 5, so I'm going to talk with you. Yeah, I think Nope is a movie. When I first watched it, I watched it filming season 3, I think, actually. Or season, because it came out last year, right? Yeah, a year ago. Yeah. Actually, I think it's exactly almost a year ago when it came out, because it came out in July. It was a movie that I hated at first. Didn't like
Actually, it came out a little over a year ago. They made a post about it a few weeks back.
So close, baby, so close.
So close.
But yeah, no, I didn't like it. I went and saw it with a bunch of my co-stars of Sweet Magnolias, and we watched it. I was like, just wasn't for me. I liked certain parts of it, but wasn't a big fan of it. I went home a few months later, watched it when I got back down to Florida. Love it. It's not my. I wouldn't rank it more. I'd probably rank it like an 8.5, 8.6. It's actually a really decent movie, really good movie. But once again, you have to really be focused on all these different elements that Jordan Peele does. Jordan Peele's a very specific director, and you got to pick up on these different nuances that he brings in. You would love Nope, dude, when you watch it again. I'm telling you right now.
I need to go back. Well, no, because dude, like Get Out is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I don't know if we did a ranking. I might have forgotten about. I don't know if we did like a horror movie ranking.
Nope.
I think we did.
No, we did not.
No, we didn't.
No, that was franchises. I'm gonna save the movies for.
Did we?
No, I don't think we did. Well, okay. I think we're gonna save that for horror month.
Yeah, no, bro, Get Out is one of my favorite horror movies I've ever seen. It got nominated for some Academy Awards. And bro, he changed, in my opinion, just Jordan Peele. Of course, that's why he has his own studios now. He completely changed. I want to say horror in a way because he almost did I won't say the Wes Craven effect, but he almost did the meta version. He did the meta thing again. You know what I mean? Like his movies were just really relatable. It didn't feel like the whole it's nothing supernatural. It's all within the realm of possibility, and that's what keeps you engaged. And like with Get Out, it's just a crazy cult, but it keeps you so engaged on how they do things. You know what I mean? And the abstract ideas, like you falling into the back of their subconscious and looking dude, such a cool film. The pacing's great. But one movie I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough, Hush, bro. Not Hush. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I said Hush.
Sorry, Mike Flanagan.
Sorry, Mike Flanagan. Us. My bad. I'm pretty sure it's called Us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've not seen Us.
Hush, dude. Oh my God. So I don't know if I would say it's better than Get Out, but dude, the concept of this movie,
The doppelganger thing, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, like they establish in the beginning, but then really open at the end. So basically, there's a clone for every single person that's made, and they all live in these underground tunnels, like under the entire world.
Yeah.
So they've never seen light. They don't know, like all of them are walking around like it's like freaking crazy, right? Well, what we find out is like the woman that like is the main character with her and her whole family, she was actually one of the cave dwellers, and she got switched out with the little like the actual little girl who was a normal human born up there. And so that girl comes back for revenge with the clone family because she knew she's like different from everyone because she was a human before. You know what I mean? She had to adjust to being like that where they all grew in those conditions.
That's
you know
dope. I gotta watch it then, man. Sounds cool.
Bro, it's so, and then like at the end, bro, I don't even want to say the end.
Yeah,
it's such an awesome film. But Jordan Peele's movies are so different, and I really like. I'm a big abstract guy, if you can't tell. You know what I mean? I love that his movies they're so different. But Jordan Peele, number two.
Good pick.
Gotta check them films out.
Yeah, no, I need to watch. I need to watch Us, man. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think Jordan Peele's a very interesting director. You know, I think he does his political commentary in a very well, like, not forced way.
Yes.
That's what I really like about it. You know, a lot of movies kind of force that political commentary. What he does is he makes it really interesting and actually makes it more effective because of that, and actually adds a lot to it. So I really like what Jordan Peele does. I think he does a really good job with it, and that's why I think you need to watch Nope again. I think you're gonna. Really
I can't remember what it was, man. I was like so tired. I didn't even.
It's a very slow paced. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird for sure. The pacing's very strange, but once you really start to kind of digest it, you'd be like, wow. And then you start like looking up like the breakdown and like knowing what all the references were to. You're like, wow, you know. Yeah. So it's pretty good. I definitely recommend it to watch again. Yeah, so my number two is going to be Wes Craven. I love Wes Craven for all the reasons that Brayden pretty much said, man. Of course, Scream, so iconic. Nightmare on Elm Street, one of my favorite horror movie franchises of all time.
That's one of Papa's favorites.
Yeah, man. This guy, once we talked about it. This guy just brought horror to a level that we just haven't seen. Saved horror in the 90s when it was just absolute garbage. And he made it something great and had a very unique idea on it and took what New Nightmare did but just made it even cooler. And that's kind of what Scream was. So and made this whole subgenre of meta-ness. It's crazy. His impact is insane. So
he was ahead of his time, low key.
Very, very ahead of his time, and just an incredible mind and a very good writer. Very good writer.
Yes.
Like, we're talking directing. But this guy wrote most of the movies that he directed.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just incredible work, man. So, love Wes Craven, love his visuals, he has a very specific tone. Wes Craven has a very specific tone to his movies that I'll eat up every day, baby.
I think that's what I was saying with that Wes Craven effect. Like Jordan Peele, they both, I love that about both of them. They have those very specific, like, you're watching a Wes Craven movie when you're watching a Wes Craven movie.
You know when you're watching a Jordan Peele movie, exactly.
Yeah.
They have that very weird, that very interesting tone. And yeah, I mean, Hills Have Eyes, Swamp Thing, like this guy,
The Hills Have Eyes is one of my favorites.
So he started that up. And I think didn't they do a remake or something? I don't know.
Actually, the remake's pretty good.
I don't think I've seen the remake. What Wes Craven did with all that, dude, I mean, it's incredible. He's Wes Craven. He's Wes Craven. I can't really speak too much on it, but because we talked about it earlier, but he's incredible, and R.I.P. to him, man. 2016.
R.I.P. is the greatest.
R.I.P. to him, man. Yeah, let's hear number one, man. We're at number one now,
dude. It's really funny because Logie knows it. It is the man, the myth, the legend, James Wan, bro, dude. I don't know, man. Like, I love that you said it because it's so true. He is so slept on. He gets overlooked constantly, and it's just not ridiculous, but it's just like, yo, like, you just forget about the guy. Yeah. I obviously, if we watch our franchise, The Conjuring and Insidious are some of my, probably like two of my favorite, if not my favorite franchises of all time. I just love the paranormal ghost. Um, I just like that whole idea, and that's where I really got that drive for the dark room. Like, I love that creative. There's ghosts in this world, and because I always thought the difference between a ghost and someone like a character is like you can't fight a ghost. You know what I mean? It's out of elemental boundaries fighting a ghost. You know what I mean? You have to
Get
get
that holy
certain
water.
things involved. Yeah, you have to get religion and this and that involved, and there's a certain way to kill it. And so I've always loved movies like that. And The Conjuring, I think is some of the best crafted movies. Annabelle, amazing. Like, you have that whole series. Dude, I just love this guy, man. Like, there's not a lot of movies he didn't do right.
He is
And
that guy, pal.
he is that guy. Totally slept on, maybe for the age thing. But yeah, man, he's created some of my favorite franchises, and like the whole Conjuring story is just insanity when you look at how deep it goes with like Annabelle and even connections like Ouija and stuff like that.
He
Like,
made a
what I
whole
mean? There's connections
universe.
everywhere.
He
Yeah,
he
he
made
made
an
a whole
MCU
universe.
out of horror, which is nuts.
Insanity.
Yeah, and
So,
also the first Conjuring movie, I just want to say, one of the best movies of all time, period.
of all time, period.
Crazy.
Period.
Crazy.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, you touched on so much earlier, so I was just trying to reiterate what you were saying. But yeah, bro, I think he's amazing, and I think by the end of his career, wow, I think he's got a lot more in the
He
tank.
needs to do a lot
Something's
more.
holding him back, though.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's weird. I don't
You're
know.
definitely right.
Actually, while I'm talking about my number one, if you want to look up like his future projects, what he has on
Yeah.
the horizon, and also look up Ari Aster, see what he's doing. I think we did an acting news on him a couple weeks ago where we talked about it. Yeah, my number one is John Carpenter. No questions asked. I love John Carpenter, man. I mean, listen, God, where to even start? Halloween. It's my favorite movie of all time, probably behind Grown Ups.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
didn't want to cut you off. I totally thought about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to think, bro.
What?
See, he wrote Megan. He didn't direct Megan, but the stories he developed the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know it says for his future projects. It has like The Nun 2, because The Nun's a part of the Conjuring series.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What is this movie called? Something with. You keep going. I'll get a better answer.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, Halloween, Christine, The Fog. What John Carpenter did with horror is unreal. I mean, you can't say much. And not just horror. I mean, what he did in the action world, with all the movies with what's the guy? Kurt Russell. All the Kurt Russell movies he did, Escape from New York, all these films. It's unreal. John Carpenter's range is very, very good. That's what I love about him as a director. That's why he's one of my favorite directors of all time. But when it comes to horror, though, he's obviously done an unreal job. Like I said, Halloween, one of my favorite movies of all time. So influential. I feel like I'm missing a movie specifically I wanted to talk about with John Carpenter. Just not coming to my head. Halloween, Christine. Another movie that kind of rhymed with that. I'm trying to think. But yeah, no, I it's just so influential. Halloween just it's had a big impact on my life. Halloween did what Texas Chainsaw couldn't do and what Psycho couldn't do, and brought slashers to the next level. And don't get me wrong, we love Psycho, we love Texas Chainsaw, but Halloween took it to that next level that needed. Brought life to Friday the 13th, which was a copy of Halloween. Brought life to Nightmare, all these horror in general, and then that's kind of when Wes Craven kind of then took the ropes away from that. But John Carpenter is the first guy to bring slashers to the forefront and was consistently putting out good work. Can't go wrong with it. Love John Carpenter, funny guy, knows how to write, does all his scores, does all his writing, and does all his directing. Stop playing with my boy. So
Stop
talented.
playing with me, baby. Yeah, dude, no, he only has producer credits coming up. Weird.
It's very weird. Very weird. Come on,
Bro,
James. What
but
are you doing?
seeing some like, dude, he's a producer for The Conjuring, Last Rites. That's a new Conjuring movie. For the Backrooms movie.
Oh, wow.
For Dead by Daylight.
Wow. He's producing all these?
Dude, yeah, let me just read out what he's producing. The Nun 2, executive producing Saw X, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Megan 2.0. I'm only do like ones that are popular. Thread and Insidious Tale, Mortal Kombat 2, The Conjuring Last Rite, Concrete Jungle, The Backrooms, Dead by Daylight, The Crooked Man. The Crooked Man's the guy from remember we kind of partially based Wiley off The Crooked Man.
Yep. Yeah. That's
but
crazy.
yeah, bro.
He's stacked.
Yeah. He's pretty stacked.
That's wild.
The Backrooms plot is under wraps, bro. No way.
That's crazy. No, he needs to. Yeah, he needs to do more directing though. I wonder if those projects are going to turn into some directing opportunities for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Probably. Sorry, I need water. By the way, Art.
I need some water.
Can't talk.
You're dead, boy.
Water. Ari Aster's next movie, which we probably talked about this in April. It's a Western movie. It's a noir, dark comedy called Eddington.
Oh, wow.
Shooting this summer, so it's shooting now for Ari Aster. So very different movie, it sounds like. I'm curious. See where that goes. So, yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested. It's a Western.
You know,
so
I'm so upset.
I'm upset.
Like, they don't have casts for Dead by Daylight or The Backrooms, but we need to be in it.
I'm saying,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? Like, you're missing out if we're not in it.
We're not in it, man. I'm just saying.
He's Elliot Perry, man.
Yes, sir. But yeah, that's gonna be our top 5 directors. We're gonna run through them again. I'll start first. Honorable mention being Mike Flanagan. Then we have George A. Romero at 5, James Wan, Toby Hooper, Wes Craven, and the king himself, John Carpenter.
All right. My honorable mention is George A. Romero. At number 5, we got Wes Craven. Give me another.
Yeah, what?
What? Then we got John Carpenter. What?
What?
Ari Aster. What?
What?
Motherfucking Jordan Peele. What?
What?
And then we go James
Bloody Mary.
Wan.
Yes, sir. Love that, baby. Love that. Top 5 directors, baby. Y'all know what's up for horror movies. Y'all let us know your horror movie director ranking down below. There you go. How to get that one out. Yes, sir. Stop playing.